Welcome back, note takers. This is Noah Aram with the Honorable Note podcast.
And this is Aiden, and I am still not married to medicine, but we are working on it.
Yeah, I may or may not be dating medicine, but
Not that I recall, but
Bravo offered me a contract, so I got to find somebody.
a contract.
A
To do what?
contract. They're bringing me in. They're bringing me in to back up Heavenly this next season.
I don't know if Heavenly need backup. You seem more like somebody that Quad would bring around.
Oh, I would.
Mariah would use for evil. Mariah would use you for evil.
I would come as a friend of Quad.
I think friend of Quad is most realistic, but I could see you being an agent of chaos for Mariah.
I could do that. I could do that.
But I thought you would turn on Mariah. Well, Mariah would make you turn on her with her.
Yeah, no, she'd piss me off about halfway through filming.
And halfway is generous, but you could not tell we are back for the 4th installment of our Married to Medicine rewatch on season 4. You know, we're kind of growing with the show. I'm very excited to get into it, though.
Yeah, no, it's been fun watching Married to Medicine. In case you guys haven't kept up with these specific episodes, basically we never watched Married to Medicine before, so we're going back, watching every season, and then we're gonna do one episode covering each season a month. And we're gonna keep on doing that until we get caught up, and then we'll be able to cover a live season, hopefully.
Right, and I feel like by the time we started, I think there's 12 seasons, so we started this in what, April?
Yeah.
So I think by the time next April, we might be caught up or close to caught up with live airing.
Because as far as I know, they haven't started filming the season 13 yet. As far as I know.
Which I hope they haven't gotten soft canceled, but I feel like we would have heard about that. So
they better not. No, because I think their 12 season wrapped. Their reunion aired this year, so it makes sense. Yeah,
it definitely makes sense, and I'm excited that it's one of those shows that obviously we haven't experienced it really airing live yet to have to dodge spoilers. But I think it's not like RHOA or something where there's always a clip out. So
yeah,
we've mostly gotten through unspoiled. I will say most of the spoilers are things in the future I knew before we started this project are came of my own cognizance, being messy, looking up things on Google, but for the most part, I'm unspoiled because a lot of it's inevitable reality TV stuff, like X and Y fall out. Like if you're on a show for 10 years together, you're gonna have an argument, So
right. When I think for me, I've mostly avoided spoilers and stuff. I know little things mainly because as I'm watching whatever season we're on at the time, I will sometimes look up Reddit conversations about that season or stuff like that to kind of see what people were saying or what people say in retrospect about that season. And there's been a few things here and there that have gotten spoiled for me, but not really anything too major. So for the most part, I've been able to be gagged as we go.
Right. Although I know I did spoil Letitia's existence for you, Sweet Tea, but we'll get to her ass. I'm excited for her season, but we got a little while before we get to Letitia. But let's focus it on the season 4 cast, which, if you've been following along with us, is most of the same.
Yeah.
We have pretty much the same returning cast from season 3 as full-time castmates with Toya, Dr. Jackie, Dr. Simone, Quad, Dr. Heavenly, Lisa Nicole. And Mariah is actually in it more. I don't know if she returned to full-time or she's still a friend,
she's
more
still
of an elevated friend. She's still a friend this season? Okay. But she felt like less of a friend this season for all intents and purposes, for whatever that is worth. And even last season, it felt like she was, at the beginning and then added in halfway. Yeah. She's very clearly filming the whole time this time, which didn't seem like that in season 3. So, Mariah is once again insisting upon herself, but I will say she's less annoying than she was in season 3.
Yeah, no, I will say, as someone who has heavily criticized Mariah 3 episodes of this podcast in a row now, I will say I still didn't really like her this season, but I could tell it felt like she was trying a little bit more. It felt like she was maybe genuinely trying a little bit more.
Right. She lost me at the reunion, but Mariah is terrible at reunions. So.
Yeah, honestly, my thing, because what I've seen that I've been curious about is because I've seen people on Reddit having discussions about Mariah where you'll have some people who feel really bad for her because they talk about how the cast was kind of against her and kind of pushing her out and everything, and she didn't have production on her side and whatnot, which is interesting because she is an executive producer. But then I saw people, and I haven't actually gone and tried to like seek these out to watch them, but I've seen a lot of people say that like, oh yeah, well she'd act like she was trying to make amends in the show, but then when it was airing, she would go on Facebook Live and say like,
Not Facebook Live.
yeah, they said that her and her mother would be on Facebook Live like
Oh, her
while
mother is
episodes were
messy as
airing,
hell.
and apparently, I didn't see any specific examples, but apparently she would say like the worst, most foul things about these women on Facebook Live. And apparently that's why the women never really liked her anyway. Like, despite her efforts on the show to like make amends because she'd be saying crazy shit about them on social media.
Gotcha. We need to start incorporating the lives into the episode recaps for
Right.
season 5.
Right.
But that makes sense because I know around one of the seasons where like a couple like COVID, like 3-4 seasons ago or so, I remember Dr. Heavenly was doing lives, and I would always see clips of her talking crazy. So I guess lives are part of the ethos of this show because they like to speak their piece. But that makes sense, and we've experienced Mariah's mother, Mama Mariah, on the show, and she does not hold her tongue. So.
Right. Well, it's just like, I feel like, and I mean, even in Mariah's confessionals on the show, we get a taste of it where like, we'll have a scene where she's kind of like seemingly making progress with somebody that she's had issues with. But then like immediately it'll cut to a confessional of her saying something very shady about them. And it's like, okay, well, that's probably just piss them off when this airs. But okay, Mariah.
And she really doesn't care. And
Yeah,
I like there's some give and take, but sometimes she throws like a lethal shot when it doesn't really need to be. Or like it's clear that she's thought of something that's a good drag and she just throws it out at the first time when it's like, did it really warrant that level of ammunition, Mariah?
It's like you are waiting to use that one, Mariah.
Yeah, no, like the heavenly teeth remark that was,
Ooh.
But
that was crazy.
Right? But we still need to round out the cast. We still need to round out the cast.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention Miss Janice with her little short pixie. Our new friend of a realtor, cutie. The only one that, our listeners, if you're listening along with us, watching along with us, haven't been, privy to. But she's a realtor, a fitness competitor, owner of a medical transportation company. She's also married to a doctor. Her husband, Dr. Courtney, does internal medicine. They have 3 children together. He has 3 from a previous marriage. So, qualified for the show, cute in shape. Definitely makes her mark. Fizzles out towards the end, if,
Yeah.
I have to give my honest opinion, but I like her. I
feel like, because from what I've seen, and I felt like she kind of came in like real fiery and whatnot right off the bat. Yeah, like especially like she was ready to take Heavenly's head off, like immediately. But I noticed that this is her only season as a friend of. When I looked at the Wikipedia page, it says that she's a guest the next season. Then I don't see any more appearances for her. So I'm like, oh, okay. I feel like, at least so far from what we've watched, Married to Medicine does not have the best luck with friends. With the friend does.
It has it's RHOA too. They're kind of very similar. There's always like cycling. You can maybe strike fire with a new girl, but it's difficult.
Yeah,
and I still don't think they've necessarily figured it out till today because I don't see a lot of a newer name that I see. That's been on the show for a while. I like hear a newer name in the mix, but then I don't really hear them continuously. So
yeah,
but I know they're trying now on the current seasons. There's somebody who's like on their second, third, maybe. So
yeah,
hopefully they're getting it together. But it's not good for the rookies.
Yeah,
I think because it's a genuine like friend circle, women who actually know each other.
Right, and that's what I was gonna say is I feel like, at least from what we've watched in these early seasons, like, this does feel like an actual group of people that really knew each other, had history prior to the show starting, and they actually give the vibe that they genuinely do, like, interact with each other outside of filming and between seasons, things like that, like, stuff happens and develops. So, I can see why that would make it harder for friends to kinda just get brought into the mix. But yeah, unlike other shows, because other Bravo shows like Housewives and stuff, we see examples of people who start as friends and then get promoted to full time, and we're not really seeing that thus far, at least with Married to Medicine.
Right?
Yeah.
A little bit bad luck or bad energy, or their husbands don't want it because these are also just husbands. It's not like the woman is the bread maker solely in these scenarios. Or it's calling the shots. A lot of times it's equals 50-50, or like the husband's making more. So I wonder if Carrie, was boring, but who was the other white girl? I liked her enough.
Jill?
Jill. Yeah, I was like, Jill. Jill could have done another season, but I think Jill's husband was probably like,
Well, I mean, especially after she stabbed him or whatever
Oh
she did.
yeah, oh yeah. No, that's why Joe. You're right. That's why Joe didn't come back.
Uh,
I
but
forgot about that.
not to get into our true crime bag, but
What we did last week.
well, we did a little bit. We touched on it, but I will say Jill lived on this season because they love showing the flashback of her versus Heavenly with fucking Jill being like, "You're a stupid bitch," and Heavenly, "Your mama." They love that flashback.
Right? All right. Well, yeah. Let's get because Heavenly's storyline this season, which can we call it the storyline outside of beefing with Lisa Nicole? It was Heavenly's storyline, which she's trying to get better as a person. She's trying to heal as a
Right,
human being. You know, show up as
right,
a lighter person, understanding how she's come up on the television, but also
and
still trying to brand herself as like a dating coach, motivational speaker, which
yeah,
is just very 2010s girl boss, you know,
yeah,
get to the bag energy. But it's like
right.
she has this main income stream. She's a dentist. I'm
Mhm.
Does she have multiple practices at this point, or I'm not sure.
I think she does have multiple
Yeah.
practices.
So like she has that revenue stream. So she's like, well, I'm making money there. What can I do with me? Which, you know, is smart.
Right,
She likes to talk. You know, have a little
right. Well,
microphone.
this was definitely during the era of, like you said, girl bossing, and very much it was like, if you, like, had any kind of, like, publicity or become a public figure of any kind, whether it's reality TV or you get big on social media or whatever, this was just that era where it was like, you have to capitalize on it, and you have to, like, launch businesses, build a brand, get out products,
Mm-hmm.
do partnerships and stuff like that. This is just what it was about at this time. And, like, I mean, it's still kinda like that, but to a lesser extent. I feel like at this time, it was like you threw everything at the fucking wall just to see what would stick. 'Cause
Yeah.
'cause I feel like nowadays, people are a little bit more like they're still doing things and launching endeavors and stuff, but it's more, like, in line with whatever their brand is. I feel like at
Mm-hmm.
this time, it's like if you became famous in the slightest bit, it was like you're gonna do every and anything.
Yeah. No, it was definitely I think fewer people had, you know, that many followers or access, you know.
Yeah.
It was harder to have, you know, have their eyeball. So that's why YouTubers got to the bag then. Jenna
Yeah.
Marbles ain't seen them coins now. Well, I'm sure she's still fine as a person, but I mean,
Yeah.
YouTube
She's out
wise,
doing whatever she's doing.
right? I'm sure she has a paid off house.
I'm sure she does, I'm sure she does. Some of those YouTubers,
Unlike
well, that
Toya.
their life went to shit.
Yeah. I mean, I still see Lucas Cruikshank doing his thing.
Oh, Lord,
I
not
don't click
Fred.
the videos, but
Not Fred.
I'm sure that Nickelodeon check ain't there no more.
Well, you know
I
what?
mean,
He had a movie with John Cena, and he can
right?
rest on that.
You know, but my checks from my childhood acting gigs aren't there anymore, so I went to
Now,
college
what shows were
tuition.
you on?
I was the boy in Daddy Daycare.
You were not.
I know, but someone
You
would have believed it.
you were a victim of one of them CSI shows.
Bitch, fuck you.
Have you seen that clip of that Sabrina Carpenter interview where she was like, "Oh yeah, my first acting gig was on like CSI or like whatever," and the interviewer was like, what role did you play?" And she goes, "A victim."
Well, and you were on Grey's Anatomy.
I was on Grey's Anatomy, and I got lots of things to say about Ellen Pompeo, whatever her name is. I got lots to say about her.
I was like, DeGeneres? Like, no one calls
I got
that
lots to
lady
say about
by
her
just
too.
Ellen. Well, everyone does. Everyone does.
Everyone has a bad Ellen experience.
Well,
She called me a stupid bitch at all this.
I thought you'd have a bad Captain Hagel experience knowing her, but
Oh, you know what? Her and I actually, we saw each other. Um, but let's get back to being married to medicine. Let's get back to the
Ooh,
medicine, as
well,
Jackie would say.
let's get back to the medicine. So another storyline that was going on this season was Lisa Nicole wanted to have a baby.
Oh
So,
God, I was so
just
and
to recapitulate, the average age on this cast is about 45. These are
yeah,
women with mostly already grown children.
yeah. Well, the
So
thing,
it's in general just ridiculous.
yeah, when it's just like, because like that's the one thing is like there's just her general age, which is it's not ageist to be like, hey, you know, at some
Yes.
point, like at what point do we give it up when it comes
Yes.
to the baby making?
Which two
But also,
OBGYNs on the show did also say.
yeah. Right, well, and it was pointed out to her because she had mentioned that she had, like, some pretty severe complications with her previous pregnancies, and, it was kind of pointed out and brought up to her, like, "Okay, well, is it worth your health or is it worth dying?" Because Jackie was like straight up, she was like, "Well, I is it worth leaving behind the 2 you got?" Um,
Shouldn't
because
laugh, but
it's,
it's
I mean, it's kind of like, I mean, you had complications like that, like life-threatening
yeah.
complications when you were younger, and now you're older. So it's like, it's kind of scary. It's a similar thing with Bose on last season of Beverly Hills. It's like she's like almost
That's what she was
50.
doing.
Yeah, that's yeah, because Bose's storyline on this most recent season of Beverly Hills was that her and her younger fiance wanted to have a baby together. Um, and her because her situation is she has a daughter with her late husband. And that daughter is like damn near grown, like she's almost 18. And apparently Bose had like major complications with her. It's like, okay, you're damn near 20 years older after having major complications, and you want to
Right.
try to have a baby now.
Yeah,
Um,
girl, just get a
so
surrogate like the rest of us.
yeah, shit like that's a little weird to me. I
The
feel like
girls don't want
Janet
to get
Jackson. I
surrogates no more.
I
Well,
I
at
feel
least
like
Lisa Nicole was like 24, 16 or so. So it's like it existed, but it wasn't as like a much of a status symbol. I feel like it is now.
right. Well, I feel like Janet Jackson just gave these women too much false hope about what you can do having that damn baby
Now
at
why
50.
is Janet in it?
I just feel like Janet just had to go and have that damn baby at 50, and now everybody thinks they can.
Right? Are there like pictures of her pregnant? Was that confirmed she carried that child? Is it like known?
I
Is it
feel like I've
confirmed?
seen pictures of her pregnant, and they looked more believable than the pictures of Beyonce pregnant. So she looked more legitimately pregnant than Beyonce.
No, no,
So
no, she was she let the world know she was pregnant with them twins because she got
right,
so
she's
much to
like, I
say.
ain't faking nothing this time. She's
Not
like,
this time.
y'all ain't gonna see no deflated belly. But yeah, that was Lisa Nicole's main thing is just that she wanted to have a baby. The very like beginning of the season, she kicks it off with announcing it and wanting to have a party for announcing to her friends that she's gonna be trying for me. It's like she ain't even pregnant yet. Um,
The
and
party's
basically, we see
ridiculous.
kind of the women question a little bit. We see basically Darren not really actually seeming to want to do it because Darren just is not shit. Darren is not shit.
Yeah, he's never having his wife's back on the storylines. He's not agreeing to the scripts. You can have other husbands be getting a briefing before they film, and they're like, all right.
Well,
But
it
he does
seems
not care for whether or not he embarrasses Lisa. He thinks he's the main character, and it's like, damn.
yeah. And I will say, as much as I drag Lisa, and I think she's ridiculous for her relationship with Darren, I do appreciate that she occasionally does like call him out. Like she's like, you make me look stupid.
But she's very upfront. Like, you're giving them more ammo.
Right, right. I appreciate that she'll call him out for it.
Right. Mm. Yeah, but yeah, Darren's pretty much says something like, "We having a baby," or just like says something so flippantly to the other men, like, "Oh, that ain't serious. That's just something." Which
Right,
obviously they're telling their wives that they're bringing it back to Lisa. She's
right,
looking dumbfounded,
right. And then
and it's
he's
essentially it's another season of Lisa being dumb about Darren. Everyone calling it out.
yeah,
It's very much season 3, part 2, which is
right.
why I struggled a little bit with this season. Like I
Mhm.
was entertained throughout, but it needed a major beat. With season 5, just have a major beat coming, but
Ooh,
season 4 definitely felt like this was an anime. People would call it filler.
not filler, not the filler episodes. Um, but that's like, but
like Skip from Hate Heated Rivalry.
not that, not Skip. You know what?
I didn't even watch the show.
I bet you even watch it, and you know, and you know. Um, but yeah, I agree. It felt like more, and that's part of why I struggle with Links Nicole because similar to Mariah, I feel like are you just gonna bring the same bullshit every season? Like, is it gonna be
Right?
basically just like the same? And my thing with Lisa is that like, yes, she does occasionally call Darren out, but she also mainly just lashes out at the other women and destroys any potential friendships and allies she could have in the group just because she's mad that her husband is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Um, and
Pretty much. And the
and
group, like, I feel like they don't necessarily like her, but I think they try to give her like an ounce of grace.
they do. They do. They
Yeah.
give her way more great. Like Quad was way kinder to her than I would be after what she did to Quad last
Right?
season.
Right. No, Quan was actually one of the nicest people to her this season
Yeah.
because she mostly got into it with Heavenly and Toya.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is it's like it seems like when she actually has potential friendships and allies, she just goes and pisses those people off and
Yeah.
lashes out at them.
Right?
And it's
For
just it's
sure.
frustrating to watch. And also like seeing her continuously because this I swear at least once an episode this whole season, she was telling somebody that her marriage is none of their business. And it's like, girl, you're on Married to Medicine. This
Right?
show is literally Real Housewives with an even heavier focus on the
Yes.
marriages.
Sure. And I feel like that was part of it too. I feel like there was definitely like a fourth wall issue
Yeah.
that they had with Lisa, because you would get bits and pieces of it, like, oh, Lisa's not authentic, Lisa's not this, and it's just
Yeah.
like there's definitely some subtext that we can like read through that I wish I was reading the blogs back then. Because
Right.
that's the kind of thing that would air now, and like if you're plugged in, like, oh, you're reading the Reddit threads, you're on the form that shall not be named. You're like, oh, okay, I know what they're referring to, but with
Yeah.
Lisa, I'm like, is she lying off camera? Is she not? Do they want her to be more honest? Because I will say, Jackie and Simone are putting it all out there this season. Like they were showing their lives.
Yeah.
Toya always showing her. Toya's always on it. Toya talking about the tax issues. So I see it, everyone else is like, okay, you're not being. Well, Heavenly's not being serious either.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like
but I see why they say everyone's being serious. But Heavenly brings entertainment in like another way. Heavenly's gonna keep you laughing.
That thing, yeah, no, Heavenly is willing to go there in another way,
So I do see why they think Lisa's inauthentic and not trying. But part of me feels like Lisa was damned if she did it, damned if she didn't. But I too found her annoying. I'm not saying I didn't, but I just thought there was no way for her to move because I think she was trying to be nice. They still push her around, talk about her husband. She turns up. Now they mad at her for turning up. Her husband not even on her side, not supporting her. Her only ally is the other pariah on the show. So it was just like, it was hard for her. And I thought the other group seemed so like locked in at this point. So
yeah, it's similar because and her and Mariah, it's similar to me with both of them, where it's like sometimes I want to feel bad with them because it does seem like they're being ganged up on or attacked or excluded or whatever. But like it's just so much circling back to like they do it to themselves, and it's like, well,
at the reunion when they laid it all out like that, and the girls were all saying the arguments, I was like, okay, damn, Lisa, like, they were giving you lifelines, and you would just still blow it up in someone's face, talking about, you don't run me, I'm not UG.
And
that's why her husband got called gay, with your gay ass husband.
Oh, that was crazy. Although the gay ass husband, I will admit that I laughed at that, but at the same time, like, so much of the comments about Darren like allegedly being gay or bisexual or whatever this season, it does rub me a little bit like, okay, we're just getting some casual homophobia. It's good.
Right? Oh, you're giving Darren at the reunion. Andy, you should be disrespected.
and Andy was messy when he said something about, and Darren will come out later. Well, at the reunion.
Not in that one. He knew the wording.
He
knew the wording. Well, Andrew Jerome Cohen.
He is messy, and I'm sure he would sleep with Darren.
Ooh. I got a chance. 2016 Darren, maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I sometimes with the whole like, is Darren like gay or whatever storyline, like sometimes I felt like
there were other things to drag him about.
Right. When sometimes it felt like the other women were almost treating it like, oh, if he was just cheating on you with women, it would be fine. But because he's cheating on you men too, that's the problem.
Yeah. I think it was definitely some casual homophobia. But I don't think they gave a fuck. They were just like, I don't want to make you mad, Lisa.
Right. Well, I also feel like I try to keep in mind that like the age group that most of these women are in, I'm well, I mean, like they're kind of in that age demographic where like they're not gonna call them the F word, but they're gonna throw a little shade.
Yeah, also I think with Toya and Heavenly, it's clear that they like the vacation in the gutter, as Candace calls it. So
right. Yeah, no, that
they're the type to say anything.
They'll go low.
Which I wonder if Quad would have said. I think Quad likes to position herself as an ally. So if Quad said, I'd be like, hold on, wait a minute, girl.
Yes, I know. No, Quad definitely, I feel like, is the most like. I feel like of this cast, Quad is probably like the most progressive, the most like she just has like that younger, and I don't know if she's the youngest around the cast. I don't know their exact ages. Yeah. I think she is. But she kind of has like that energy of being a little bit more woke than the rest of these women.
Yeah. No, I definitely see that. And she was correcting Darren, and she's like, the LGBTQ questioning. Making a clarification.
That's it. And if she was a worse person, she could have just said to Darren, are you questioning?
Right. I mean, to get the Quad real quick, it's not a big season for her, which I think she deserve a chiller more season because she was season 1 and 2 with 3. Much, I think.
Yeah, no, she went through it.
So this season, she pretty much her storyline is her brother and her nephew staying over in the house. They're trying to figure out like the Quad randomly had a baby between seasons, but she would have had to be pregnant at the reunion at least because they're like, we see like a full like 1-year-old, like 14 months
walking around
in the house, and I'm like, that's not Quad baby. So what's going on? And then we see her lovely brother and then not sister. I will say sister-in-law for all intents and purposes, and
Quad's a
You know,
little
they're
shady
living
to
up there.
that woman.
That woman was cackling too. They were shady to the brother together.
But Quad was shady, like, because there was that scene where she was teaching her how to cook something in the kitchen, and she and she's Quad had a confessional about like, and now she knows how to be in the kitchen. She's like, well, clearly she's been in the kitchen, but
Oh, Quad to the back. She did a backhanded Quad for that one.
right when that
But
aired, I was like,
her
excuse
nephew
me,
Mason was so cute. His little cheeks. That was
he
an
is
adorable
cute.
baby.
He is really cute.
Oh, the baby fever was spiking up. But you know, she had her brother over, her
Yeah,
nephew. Clearly Dr. G liked it. They had a little family unit moment. But, you know, for the most part, Quad had a very lighthearted season. I don't
yeah.
recall, was she in any arguments? I feel like she was
She
doing her little
was
input of
at
things.
the near the beginning of the season when it was at Lisa Nicole's like announcement party of like, "Hey, my husband's like trying to nut in me," party to
Yep.
announce that she was trying to get pregnant. Um, but like they kind of were bringing up Lisa Nicole's like age and the situation and everything about like you're trying to have a baby and everything. And then I think Quad said something, and then Simone was like, "Well, you better stop before we
Oh
get on you
yeah.
about this baby you're not
That
having."
was so fucking random.
It was. I'm like, Simone, why are you yelling at her about this?
Right? So oh yeah, that was like the second episode. I do
Yeah.
remember that because I was like, whoa, how did this fit the Soul versus Quad? We had
Right.
a fight night this season. Was that
Right.
ever
And
got followed up on?
yeah, no, they kind of just got heated in the last like few minutes of that episode, and then by the next episode, like it was nothing.
Right? They could have talked off camera. Like, no, we're not doing this season.
One thing, yeah, like by the next episode, Quad was just like helping Simone try to find her missing father.
Right? Yeah. So it was Simone's storyline, which we'll get to. But
Yeah,
yeah, no,
I
Quad
feel
was chill.
like
But you know, aside from that one little argument, which maybe someone got the wrong memo. Like, no, it's not Lisa Nicole takedown. We're making Quad have the baby.
well, that's why I kind of feel bad for Quad sometimes because I feel like the fact that she hasn't had a baby gets brought up so often, some like in some situations.
Right?
And like, I don't know, it feels like everyone is trying to pressure this woman into having a baby. And it's like, I don't get why y'all are so concerned
Right?
about what she is or isn't doing with her uterus.
Right? Well, maybe they think it's a concern for her marriage, which we know Dr. G wants one.
Right. It
She not
almost
giving
gives
it. Is she giving
sometimes, and I
Chloe?
feel like, because Quad is never, like, at least from what we've watched so far, Quad has not like outright said she doesn't want a baby, but it seems like she doesn't want one. And it seems like this man is like, it almost feels like one of those situations where like before they got married, she was like, hey, I don't want to have a baby. I don't want kids or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, okay. But like now he's trying to pressure you. Because I think that happens a
Yeah.
lot.
That
People are
does
like,
happen
oh,
a lot.
she'll change her mind.
Yeah. But I thought she would say that. It's the fact that she keeps like, oh, I'm gonna have one soon. I'm not ready yet. That
Right.
may be pissing a lot of people off, but
Yeah.
I
Well,
do know the context. That's how she gets her man taken.
oh,
Because Sweet Tea slid in his DMs like, I can give you a baby.
that is foul.
Yeah, pretty much. So
That's
poor
nasty.
Dr. G, this one, I think he would be a good dad, as you know, as milk
Yeah.
duddish as he can be sometimes.
Yeah, but that's where I felt bad for Quad. Like, leave her uterus alone.
Right? Or let her have a baby on her own terms.
Right. Or like let her have a baby or not have a baby or adopt a baby or like whatever.
Right? But let's go into the more somber storylines of our favorite OBGYNs. Who
Yeah.
seem to always be going through shit together.
Yeah.
The same shit
Right.
going on each season. Well, I would say their marriages are in quite different places because Dr. Simone and Cecil are celebrating a lovely 20 years of marriage in Hawaii.
Mhm.
Well, Curtis don't even show up on the trip, which Curtis went from being the most mute husband on the show to the most annoying
Yeah.
in about a season and a half.
Mhm.
I will say, because that man was driving me crazy. But you know, early on in the season, we see Simone get the news that her dad is missing.
Yeah. Which
And
was a
'cause he had
crazy
got
story.
yeah. Yeah, it happens very, very suddenly. Because we got a glimpse and stuff of her dad, of her talking about it in her personal life. But pretty much, he was released from jail, has gone missing. She's calling her uncle.
Yeah.
They go down, they have like a whole trip of the girls. It's Quad,
Mhm.
Simone,
Jackie.
Dr. Jackie. They
Yeah.
got into Nashville. And I think Dr. Heavenly do something on the side too. She goes to a church or something. But
Yeah.
these three, but Dr. Heavenly's too unserious to bring on that. So yeah, she kind of goes to Nashville. They kind of search around, ask some questions, see her family, but they don't get answers till a few episodes later, where she gets confirmation from the police
Yeah.
that he was found in like a house, and she's feeling guilty because she had called for some money, and it was when a few seasons ago she was going through that transition with her practice where she was feeling a little broke for a minute.
Yeah.
So A lot was going on. But she ain't broke no more because we had a random plot line in episode 1 or 2 that someone got 2 houses now. She got an east house and a west house.
Right.
It kind of fizzles out talking about her multiple houses, but they're getting
Yeah.
into investment property. She's driving sports cars around. Simone having a
Yeah.
time.
Right?
Aside
She's living
from
her
the
best life.
grieving. Aside from the grieving.
Right, yeah, and yeah, it was sad. It was sad to watch, and honestly, like, at first when they were playing, like, they were showing it in the trailers where it's like, "My dad is missing," like, "This season on Married to Medicine." Like, I thought that they were, like, set I thought they were misleading us at first, like, it was I did not
Right?
think it was gonna be that serious. I thought they were, like, misleading us to make it seem like it was way more serious than it was gonna be,
Yeah.
but then when we got to it, I was like, "Oh, no, her dad is actually missing," and then, like, it's like he's
Yeah.
been missing, and then he passed away. I'm like, "Oh my god, this is really dark and heavy."
Right. Which Simone then proceeds to do one of the shadiest things I think has ever been done on a Bravo show. And instead of bringing the vow renewal curse onto herself, she brought it to the whole cast. Instead of just making it her own vow renewal, she said, "You know what? We all gonna do it too."
She's
And
like,
I
"We're
remember typing in my notes like a vow renewal, Simone, you gonna curse yourself. You better get somebody else to do it.
right?
And then
What
she's
the
like, everyone's doing
She said, "We're all going down together. I'm condemning
it.
everybody here."
Which we do start, they continue on the couples trip setup of the show, and they go to Hawaii, which is, a little step
Yeah.
up from the trips they've been going on,
Yeah.
which was nice. We see all the couples arrive at some point, not the whole duration, which another point against Darren, another point against Curtis, because he don't show up at all. Darren
Right.
at least made it to the vow renewal. But, it's a
Right.
couples trip / vow renewal. It's Simone and Cecil's 20th. So, very
Mhm.
festive, upbeat time. And I feel like Hawaii is where we get a lot of the drama. I feel like, pretty
Mhm.
much the girls go, Lisa, Nicole, and Mariah being all, standoffish. And the girls just
Mhm.
get being sick of it once again.
Yeah. I feel like these girls really do thrive on a cast trip. Like, they really make the most of it. They bring it. I feel like what I like with their cast trips is I feel like they do tie it back in the relationships. Like, there is, like, a narrative purpose for them to all go on a trip together. Like, sometimes I feel um like, on other shows, it's like, "Oh, Alexia's feeling a little sad about Todd. Let's go to Spain." That'll fix everything. Um, but
I
I
mean,
feel
I
like on
would
Married
like
to
that trip to
Medicine.
Spain.
What?
Said I would like that trip to Spain.
Right. I just feel like, though, on Married to Medicine, it feels like the trips have a little bit more purpose and a little bit more of a, like, a logical setup and everything for them. Um But yeah, I agree with you though. Like, it does count against, like, it does piss me off when some of the husbands aren't as willing participants, because I feel like on Real Housewives, those shows aren't as much about the marriages. So I feel like the husbands can get away with being absent a little bit more. But, like, on Married to Medicine, I'm sorry, but y'all husbands gotta lock in. Just you have to lock in because
Right?
y'all are much more important cast members on the show than some of the other Bravo shows.
Right? And it's clearly like y'all are all integrated, actually knowing one another. So clearly have some camaraderie. So, I
Yeah.
mean, even Aiden Ass is there dancing.
Ooh.
Darren shows up late because he can't get time off. And everyone else is throwing commentary like, well, they all are ER doctors and they're here. They got the time off. They put in 2 weeks notice.
Right?
But
Well,
Darren does eventually show up. Curtis never shows up. Damon, Heavenly's husband, leaves a little early. Daddy, as she calls it. But for the most part, we get most of the men there.
yeah.
Obviously, Cecil's there, which it's funny because, this was a whole gag. The men didn't know it was a vow renewal. So they walk up, they're like, oh. But then Cecil gagged Simone a bit because he pulled out a whole ring of surprise of his own that Simone didn't know about. How
Right.
about gotcha?
Gotcha, bitch. He
Now, he
wouldn't
ain't
say
say
that.
it like the documentary.
He wouldn't call that woman a bitch. He would
Simone would
never.
have smacked him upside the head.
He would never.
I think he would never. Yeah, he would never in general.
Mm. He would never
I
do.
think it was a good Hawaii was a good little trip. We got
Yeah.
like Lisa Nicole versus Heavenly round 2, which
Right.
pretty much is essentially one of the more major feuds of the season.
Yeah.
And because they genuinely had a good friendship, which I feel like was probably part of it. She essentially falls out with Toya and Heavenly. I don't think Dr. Jackie and Simone gave a fuck about that lady much to begin with. You could have Dr.
Right.
Jackie pay Lisa Nicole dust.
Right. I do think it's funny where Dr. Jackie, during one of her scenes where she was meeting with Nicole, like, about her, at least Nicole, about her fertility, like, her office manager or whatever was like, "Well, like, what's going on with you and Lisa?" And Jackie was like, I'm seeing her as a patient today." So that's not coming in yet.
She's on decline case of confidentiality.
Right. I mean, there's not, that confidentiality doesn't exist when there's a camera crew around.
That's true. That's true. You got your legs in stirrups and a camera crew in the corner.
I always wonder when we do get the scenes of like specifically of like Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie with their patients and stuff. I do wonder like what that whole thing looks like what the like release forms and waivers and stuff look like for the patients that they have to sign.
Yeah, I think it's just a normal commercial release. It's probably just like the standard release. It's just like, your pussy gonna be out. Well, not
Right.
out, but your legs don't be in startups.
Well, because like some of
But
it's
I'm sure they
really
try not to share like diagnoses and stuff because what we do see is very high level. But
yeah, well, because I feel like some of it's intense. Like this season we had a few scenes of Dr. Simone working with a transgender patient of hers that she had to perform a
I feel like
pass.
Bravo set that patient up, but I
Right.
still like to see. It was still a story I like to enjoy seeing.
Yeah, she was performing a pap smear on that patient. Um, and that was a very like intense, emotionally charged scene.
Yeah. Especially because I have to think about given the time that this aired, like 2016, that
Mhm.
I feel like that was a little ahead of its time for the period. So definitely would have caused some conversation. I'm sorry, the season aired from November 6th, 2016 to February 24th, 2017. So between
Yeah,
those 2 years, but that's still, I feel like, I feel like before people were even asking for pronouns regularly, it was still a difficult
right.
time.
Right, right. When this was like I feel like this is where we were like I think this is where like there was like really starting to kick off with like a lot of the cultural wars and stuff and trans people
Hmm.
being used as like a weapon like kind of being
Yeah.
weaponized and stuff in the conversation. So yeah, I feel like this was like pretty interesting that they like went there at this particular time.
Right. We don't get a lot of Simone work scenes, so it was nice to see that because
Yeah.
the show be making it seem like Simone no work. But
But like
she's constantly charted and stuff, but I'm like, "Where the patients?"
yeah, but that thing clearly
Right,
shit works though cuz look
right,
look look at the second house, look at the cars, look
right,
at every
and then her husband always talk about, "You working too much," so maybe
Yeah,
her patients don't like to be up in startups on reality TV too much.
right.
Because I mean, maybe she doesn't have as many celebrity patients, so maybe Bravo cares more about Dr.
Yeah.
Jackie's patients because they famous.
Well, it's kind of just better for television to watch Dr. Jackie fat shame people than Dr. Simone.
Right?
Because I
And then
what
maybe we'll get to see Tiny or something in startups in future episodes.
well, because like one thing I consistently see. By the way, like when I look at Reddit threads and stuff, people hate Dr. Jackie. Is what I've learned. I've heard that Dr.
Yeah.
Jackie is like despised by this fandom.
I
Um,
mean, she's a little holier than that.
yeah, and I constantly see people talking about and comparing like Dr. Jackie's bedside manner versus Dr. Simone, and they're like, every scene we see of Dr. Simone with her patients, they're laughing, having a good time, smiling, and they're like, and Dr. Jackie just bullies her, and I'm like, well, maybe so, but I
Right.
feel like I feel like all of us have been to like that medical professional, whatever kind of doctor or dentist or this or that it is. I feel like we've all been to that medical professional that was kind of rude to us.
Yeah.
And that's just
I
how
can't even imagine how sensitive an OBGYN gotta be too. It's like,
yeah,
talk about some sensitive stuff here.
right.
Yeah, but no, I'm not surprised that Dr. Jackie's not the most
Yeah.
popular in the fandom. She likes the fat shame. She's not exactly the funniest.
There
She adds something to the cast and dynamic on reality television that,
mhm.
I appreciate. But
Yeah,
I wouldn't
there
say she's my favorite either. But I don't know if I hate her. I really didn't like her in season one, but then she grew on me.
yeah. I think in the
You loved her in
first
season one.
in the first season, I was a big fan just because, like, I felt like it was kind of a shtick. I was like, "Okay, like, this is kinda funny." But I feel like it's gotten old the more I've watched and, like, the more I'm just like, "Okay, whatever, Jackie." Uh,
Yeah. And I
but
do think she has that God complex Heavenly was talking about.
right, yeah. But,
She said something this season like, the doctor's the last thing between you and God or something along those lines about being like a gatekeeper. It was like,
yeah, no, she said
all right,
yeah, she said
girl.
that was yeah, she said, like, behind God, like, that yeah, like, she basically, she yeah, like, doctors are, like, second behind God. I'm like, "Okay, Jackie."
like, like, no one put you in charge, girl.
Yeah, I just feel like, to me, Jackie just has, like, this weird, like, ED vibe that she kind of projects onto everybody
Mm.
around her. I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, you're fun to watch on TV sometimes, but I feel like you'd be exhausting to interact with in person.
Right? She she would have been a super almond mom.
But I've heard, like, from what I've gathered from some of the Reddit threads I've seen about her, and there are so many Reddit threads titled, like, "Dr. Jackie is the real villain of Married to Medicine." Uh, from from what I've gathered, I haven't gotten really details, but it sounds like she, like, does or says some pretty awful things, like, throughout the seasons of the show, so I don't know.
I
Maybe
mean,
maybe she's gonna do some further shenanigans later.
we'll see. She's gonna go through it in season 5, so it's clearly she'll be dealing with some tests. But
Yeah,
that's really not Dr. Jackie. It's just Curtis doing a lot. She's working a lot too.
yeah.
No real arguments or fights or beefs from her. Her and Heavenly are definitely moving to a better place. I think they slightly acknowledge each other. Well, I think Heavenly is fine with Jackie. Jackie don't like Heavenly, but Heavenly doesn't care.
Right.
Plus, Assembly's gonna be social anyway.
Well, I feel like the thing with Heavenly is that, like, even if you're cool with her, she's still gonna throw some shade. Like, she's just
Yeah,
gonna do it. And I feel like Dr. Jackie doesn't like that very much.
yeah. Eventually, I mean, the first season she was going kind of coming at Jackie hot, kind of how Janice was coming at her.
Mhm.
But,
Yeah,
Heavenly was a bigger girl, so she's a little thick. She
yeah.
constantly makes remarks about Jackie's body, though. It's like, that can go two ways. That's why she called you a busted
Right.
can of biscuit.
One thing, yeah, they're both like, I don't really feel bad for either of them when they body shame because they're both body shaming each other. So it's like,
Yeah.
whatever, y'all have at it.
Right. Right. Talk about each other's houses. Talk
Right.
about malpractice cases. I'm
Right.
surprised we haven't had that brought up yet. I'm sure that's very serious. I think they can't get a joke about that.
Right. Yeah. That's definitely like instigating like an actual war.
Yeah, because when Lisa Nicole, that was a big thing. When Lisa Nicole called Heavenly an alcoholic, they were like, okay, you can't say that because she's a doctor, she's a
Yeah,
dentist. Because even the men were piping, like, no, that's like a serious accusation.
yeah, no, that's the thing is I feel like on this show, it seems like for the most part, there's a general understanding amongst the cast that, like, there are lines that we're not gonna cross.
Yeah.
And for the most part, that seems like they, successfully don't cross those lines. I think because, like, it's just like, we all got shit
Yeah.
to lose.
Yeah. Especially because it seems like Heavenly didn't really seem like she did too much drinking outside like social situations. Because
Right,
she'd be acting crazy. Like her mouth was crazy regardless. So it's not like she was
right,
just like that when she's drinking. And
yeah.
for the span of Bravo shows, this show doesn't really seem to have like a drunk, you know?
Yeah, no, they don't, like, there definitely doesn't seem to be as much, like, blatant alcohol abuse as there is on other Bravo shows.
There's no Sonia. I mean, people might have like a one moment slip up, like someone likes to drink, but there's no like Sonia falling over, passing
Right,
out
like
over time, or like a Meredith slurring out every other word.
right, like, I've seen the girls a few times get a little tipsy, and then obviously, like, when you look at that fight in the first season between Toya and Mariah, alcohol could have been a factor in that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, overall, like, we don't get, like, crazy sloppy drunk moments on this show.
Which is good. I
Yeah,
mean, they they had some tussles, some water throws, but this season, no physical violence,
yeah.
no water throws. I wonder if they celebrated that at the rap party.
I will say I think is this our first season with nobody getting assaulted?
Did anyone get hit in season 2?
I'm trying to remember.
I don't think anyone got hit in season 2.
I feel like somebody might. Oh no, because season 2 there was almost when Toya wanted to charge after some.
Oh yeah, right at the end of the reunion, right at the end.
Yeah, so there was almost a physical
Right.
altercation on season 2, almost. They narrowly
Close to
dodged
it,
it.
close to it. That's true, that's true. This season, I don't feel like they didn't even come close either. It was just like, well, Lisa Nicole was never gonna hit nobody. I mean,
Right,
she threw the water that one time. I think she learned her lesson because I think Quadro wore
right,
her out. And
right. I think
honestly, if Lisa Nicole hit Darren, I know that's domestic violence and not allowed, but I would have cackled.
yeah, I think the first couple of seasons are where if like any like we're gonna mainly like see violence and stuff because I feel like at this point these women are more like aware of the fact that
Yeah.
they're on television and stuff, so they're
Oh,
probably
for
cleaning it
sure.
up a little bit more.
No, it's definitely to the point where they all kind of know they're on a show. They get it now. They're bona fide reality stars. 4
Right?
years of this shit.
They probably even if they're not talking about it, I'm sure they probably experienced some consequences of the result of being on the show, maybe like losing potential patients or like certain things or whatever. Like I'm sure they've experienced like some level of consequences with their careers from being on the show, like outside of the show. So I'm sure now they're more aware of like, oh no, I'm not, I'm not getting wasted. I'm not fighting. I'm not doing this.
I'm just gonna have me a good time.
Yeah.
Quickly to wrap up on the storylines. Toya just was the usual Toya being broke. Yes, she moved houses again. She has what 100,000 in tax issues that I will say the most honest I've seen anybody on Bravo be about a tax issue.
Right.
The most honest. I did not give a fuck about it. She changed her spending habits a little bit.
Yeah.
But essentially her argument was like, well, I get paid from this show. I'm working. So
she was not happy when her husband suggested that they go smaller on her birthday.
That's how I knew she wasn't serious about the downsizing. Because she was talking about let's get this bill, let's get this bill. And he was like, you're trying to ignore the elephant in the room with these small bills. So we need to move the house.
Yeah, I feel like
Eugene was not being passive this season. Eugene was making some decisions.
I think Toya probably had like the smartest strategy I've seen of somebody with tax issues on Bravo, because I feel like for other women, like when you look at someone like Karen Huger or whoever else that's had tax issues, I feel like trying to like hide it or run from it or denying things or whatever, it always makes it worse. And I feel like the way Toya approached it, it kind of took a lot of the ammunition away from the other women to like really come at her for it. Like, and I feel like when the other women did come at her, it was a little bit more like lighthearted and funny. Like when Quad showed up at her house with the handcuffs and stuff, talking about I'm with the IRS.
She was ridiculous for that.
And she was sitting there talking. She was in there asking her questions and stuff. She was full on role play that she was fucking an IRS agent. And she was talking about if you don't pay them bills, you're gonna end up in the big house.
But Toya was pretty much owning it, telling it to other people, leading scenes with it, introduce it to the fans herself. So kudos for that. She was still trying to live large. But I would say the house, the one she's complaining about, it's still pretty. It's still gorgeous.
Yeah. That's the thing is none of these women are like living in bad homes. They are all living in lovely homes.
Right? Although Jackie wants to live in a condo and Curtis not feeling that.
Right, he wants to be in the suburbs.
Right, Jackie was. I was with Jackie. I was okay, city living. I could go downstairs. I could walk to things.
Right.
I was like, yes, girl, coming over to the city side.
Right, like why not? I
at her age too. It's probably exciting.
Right. Well, especially it's like I feel like a lot of people, they get older, they're further along in their career, they don't have children running around the house and whatnot. And it's like, why not?
Yeah. You're closer to everything. You're gonna be in the city anyway. I'm sure that's gonna be annoying to film.
I feel like Curtis, though, he's just kind of boring. Like he doesn't want to have a good time.
I want to know like how they got together. Also, I thought he had a more established job than just basketball coach this whole time. Not that it's not an established job, but Cecil like an IT professional. The rest of the men are like doctors. Yeah, I just thought that's what he was given. But obviously, Jackie admires physicality, and he's a tall, big man. So I'm sure in his younger day he was nice, in shape, and big.
Right,
throwing Jackie around like how she liked. But
oh Lord,
I mean, probably.
I mean, I can see it.
I'm sure Curtis is slinging the most out of the husbands, if I had to bet.
I looked up because I didn't know how old Jackie was, and I did not realize. I looked up the other day, like Jackie's age, and that woman is 68 years old right now.
Damn, she looks the fuck good.
She does not look.
She was like 60. She was 60 during this season or so. Yeah, like 50
and I mean, even today, she looks like to me. I feel like she looks like she's like 50 something at most.
Yeah. That's what she says, keeping that body in shape, not doing those diet. She would drag anybody drinking a soda. So we need to put the soda down, Noah.
Well, first of all, this is a Gatorade Zero.
Well, this is water. This is water.
Well, I had water throughout the day, Aiden. But and now I went to the gym. I'm on my Gatorade Zero.
I heard that's vodka.
I feel like heavenly right now to defend myself. I feel like heavenly would defend myself against the body shaming.
Well, if it was heavenly, you'd have vodka poured in there. How about with some liquid IV?
Well, but you know what? Good for Jackie, because normally I feel like when people starve themselves, they age poorly.
Well, I don't she starve herself. I think she's somebody that has more like a balanced style. Like, let me get my proteins, let me get my fats.
Right. No,
I guess you're being very OCD about it.
Right. Let's say I feel like if I had to sit here and be like, I'd be like a fake psychologist, I want to diagnose her with something. It wouldn't be anorexia. It'd be like orthorexia or something like that.
I don't even know what that one is.
Orthorexia, that's the one with people who are like obsessed with clean eating and stuff.
Okay.
Like those are the people that like they're gonna have a panic attack if they try to eat like a Dorito.
See, I get that, but only for like 3 hours at a time.
What I think at that point we might be going into like binge eating disorder.
Well, does that get my DoorDash expense by the government?
No. Have
by
you
my
seen
health insurance?
have you seen the new one they're talking about with like all of the gym bros that are eating like 300 grams of protein? They're
You
calling
know that's not on my timeline.
they're calling it bigorexia. These guys that like are obsessed with getting as like, well, these are the guys that are like eating 300 grams of protein a day. They're like injecting
On
themselves with
cycles. These are guys on
yeah, that thing.
cycles.
Well, the thing they're either doing like steroids or they're getting like black market peptides and shit online.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought peptides were for like creams on skins.
Well, no, because they have like peptides for weight loss. They have peptides for muscle growth. They have peptides
Oh,
for everything. I don't
Lord.
know. I don't do any of
Clearly,
that
this is
shit.
not a wellness podcast. But
Yeah. I don't inject any damn thing.
okay, vegan, you're all natural.
I'll say I don't do anything that comes with a little syringe.
I do. But
Huh?
that's a GLP-1,
Well,
not anything else.
yours is prescribed by a doctor. You didn't get it on the black market.
Well, it was a telehealth doctor, so
Yours is FDA approved.
is it? I hope so.
I feel like it
But I
is.
mean, what do they know anymore?
Okay. Okay, freely.
I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. I think the regulations are kind of shot right now.
That's
As you know,
true.
we're
That's
going through
true.
we're going through this lettuce recall. We've had 2 formula botulism outbreaks in the last year.
Right.
These are just facts. Stating for the
Well,
record.
and I remember when you were vegan for 5 minutes, you told me that
Oh.
the food pyramid is propaganda from the meat industry.
Yep, and that was in between a falafel wrap and a gyro.
I love a good falafel wrap.
Right. But to wrap up the episode and the cast, let's quickly touch on Janice and then the reunion.
Yeah.
Like we talked about her a little bit, but Janice was cute with her little short pixie cut. She came in hot. She dragged Heavenly because Heavenly was like, "Oh, you work for your husband?" She was like, "We are partners. That is a big thing."
Right.
And at the next event, Heavenly tried it again. She shut Heavenly down quick. She was not having it. But I was wondering if she was coming on too strong.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the cast thought that or the producers thought that or what, or she was gonna get iced out, but she kind of fell back. I don't know if she just got no storyline or she was just being quiet in conversations now after she did that, or they were icing her out, but it felt very sudden.
I feel like we said earlier, I feel like it's just hard to come into this group. I feel like Karen, who right now, this is a very difficult group of women to infiltrate. But I feel like it's that mixed when I do think she came out a little too strong at first. Like, it's kind of like, I get that Heavenly kind of came, like, Heavenly kind of took the first shot.
Yeah.
But I also, the way she responded almost felt like she came on with the plan of like, oh, I'm a beef with Heavenly, and Heavenly just made it easier for her to beef with her.
You know, it was kind of like after they had that, it was kind of like, okay, what else? Because Heavenly will argue with you and move on. Like,
right. That thing, yeah, Heavenly's not going to let you make like your beef with her a whole like season long storyline.
I mean, Lisa and Nicole tried, but which it kind of was. You think Heavenly was too focused on Lisa. Lisa was too focused on Heavenly.
Right.
And like, this isn't really like a haze kind of cast, so they didn't really have the energy to go haze Janice.
Right.
So she kind of just fell into the background. And it's like, if Lisa and Mariah are too busy with Heavenly, the rest of them girls aren't just going to intentionally argue. Toya might, but like, I mean, Toya did try Janice. After that scene, she was kind of like dead in the water. Janice did have one little scene show with Toya at house, which was one of my favorite scenes this season, personally. Because they made this poor girl, I hope she didn't get, less showings after this, because Toya showed up to the house. Oh, you got me on the freeway?
It took me back to, I think it was season 2 of Potomac when Karen was looking at houses and stuff, and she was just being so ridiculous with her criticisms of all these houses and her nitpicking and everything. It took me back a little bit to that. I thought it was funny.
Right. But, Toya just walking around not liking these houses. Like, well, I asked for a yard. I want my kids to play. You got this yard on the side of the highway. You just like a little bit nitpicky, but a little bit just like, honestly, this is what I wanted. And Janice didn't seem to be meeting that. And Toya's very honest, like, she sucked. And maybe Janice found it mean. She thought she was friends with Toya. Or maybe that was like the last breaking bone for her. I don't know whether it was her or the producers.
Right.
I don't know, but it definitely felt like she was not briefed correctly for the scene. She thought she was genuinely getting the. She thought that she was on Selling Sunset and not Married to
Right.
Medicine.
Right. That's the thing is I feel like and maybe that did really hurt her feelings and everything, but because I feel like if you come on a show like this and you're going to show your business and stuff, you got to be prepared for them to take jabs at it. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
Like the girls are going to throw shade.
Right? Man, poor Janice. I think after that she blended to after that she blended into the background. I mean,
Yeah.
even on the trip, I was like, "Oh, Janice is here." That's literally what
Right.
I said at the vow renewal.
Right. She did. Unfortunately, she did not make the same impact as Jill did last season on the cast trip.
Yeah, and I think after those scenes, I was like, okay, yeah, Janice is definitely going to be a one season wonder. And
Yeah.
I'll miss her presence, but I wish she could have done a little more. But clearly, I feel like the story wasn't really fully explained. But maybe she just realized it wasn't for her, fell into the
Right.
background. I don't know.
Right. Or maybe she just, some people kind of like they'll come on, they're willing and down and everything, but like some people just aren't willing to play the game as much as maybe production would like them to. And those are the people that don't typically get asked for a second season. So maybe
Yeah,
she was like, I'll come on, I'll do my thing and stuff, but I'm not going to come on here and let y'all tell me what to do and set me up and humiliate myself.
yeah. I don't know. New girls in this show. We wrap it all up at the reunion, which is pretty much just Lisa and Mariah trying to attempt, maybe trying to turn the tides on Heavenly, trying to vote Heavenly out, but Heavenly won immunity. Heavenly had the idol.
Right.
Heavenly wasn't going out without a fight.
Right. They should have gotten some of them Tyler Perry idols, them Casey Musgraves idols, then everything. They should have gotten all those celebrity idols if they want to take Heavenly down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know if anyone really had a plan at this reunion. I think Mariah and Lisa maybe tried to have one, but Lisa kind of got ate up from the beginning because they pretty much laid out all the things like you tried to be friends with Toya, you ruined that. You brought up Eugene, said you don't run me. You called Heavenly an alcoholic, which is a serious accusation. So when they laid it all out like that, like how you deteriorated, your two little allies, hold up with Mariah, who nobody likes, and your husband still don't even like you, it seems.
Yeah.
It was just, she couldn't even be honest about it. It seemed like the girls were trying to give her a lifeline, like, oh, how are you feeling about your marriage, if anything?
Yeah.
Which, one, it was kind of bullshit, because what else you gotta be like, I hate him to y'all to get acceptance? Like,
right.
I see why Lisa didn't grovel, but also I'm like, yeah, this needs to be your last season on this show, baby girl.
Yeah, that's the thing. It makes sense to me that this is her last season because I feel like I just don't know really what else there is for her to do or show after this, and I really don't see like how she would really refit back into the group at this point. Like it doesn't make sense for her. I don't see it for Elise and Nicole.
Yeah.
But overall, good season. Like you said earlier, it felt a little bit too much like a repeat of the previous season. Definitely needs to shake some storylines up and whatnot. But overall, I enjoyed the show. I like watching it. It's definitely become a show that I like to have on while I'm doing things. Like
No, it's
kind of
definitely a comfort show because you always laugh. I remember they were somewhere looking at like a venue, looking at the ceilings, and Quan was like, "This is not the color purple." I was just like, "Quan."
right.
We have central air and heat.
Thankfully, this
Like,
show, like it has intense and maybe even dark moments, but it doesn't linger in them for too long. And the show itself just doesn't have a dark vibe. It's overall pretty lighthearted and fun for the most part. And yeah, I
they're
hope they're able to keep
professional.
that.
They're classy.
Yeah,
They'll have competing conference events just to have competing conference events. So
yeah.
it's like there's a little bit of class to it. I don't know.
That's
I like it. I like seeing actual couples trips.
yeah.
It gives me some of like the sweetness, the fun of early Atlanta and Potomac.
Mhm.
And I have to add a bonus of I don't like hate any of the cast members.
Yeah, that's true. Like, there's nobody who just like absolutely just agitates my soul like the moment they're on screen. Like, there's nobody like that. Because some housewife shows, there are people that just like almost make it unwatchable for me. But not on Married to Medicine. Like, even like my least favorites, like Mariah and Lisa Nicole, like I don't personally like despise them.
Yeah. It's just like you're annoying and you're not good at reality television.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Now Mariah, she's a great executive producer, but maybe not meant to
She's
be on
great
camera.
at finding a cast, but that's about it.
Right. Maybe
Pitching a
she's not meant
show.
to be on camera.
Right? Well, Who knows? Well, did she
But
executive produce Married to Medicine LA too?
I wonder. I should look that up. But but overall, I'm excited, especially after what you told me about the first episode of season 5. I'm excited to go on the next season. So, if you want to keep up with this series that we're doing, just know that the way we're doing it right now is we do one Married to Medicine episode a month, covering a whole season, and it's typically our last episode of each month. So, if you haven't gotten to hear our previous episodes covering it, feel free to go back and we'll see you again in a month for this one. But in the meantime, we're gonna have other content in between. So, you know,
Right. We're
tune back
talking
in.
about those new hoes on TLC, as
Oh
Heavenly
yes,
would call them.
she would call them hoes.
Because she referred to the same strippers from last season on this reunion as the host. And I was like, Heavenly.
Yeah, she. One thing about Heavenly is she's gonna shame a sex worker and not feel bad about it.
Right. But they kind of set up the men bringing that stripper to the barbershop, but
Mm.
she also didn't know what she was like. The movement felt so random, but I was here for the gag.
Right, it's fun. It's funny. But you know what else is funny? Our content all over social media. You can keep up with us On a Real Note Pod. We are on TikTok. We're on Threads. We're on Instagram. We're on Blue Sky. We're on X. We're on. You may be watching us on YouTube right now.
We're on
We're
Roblox.
Roblox. Okay, Roblox.
We're doing
I,
a live show on Roblox.
I feel a little too old to be on Roblox. I feel like I get on their little voice chat. They're gonna be like, that's a 20-something-year-old man. Ban his ass.
Well, that didn't stop your ass from playing Dress to Impress.
Well, that's different. That's an Olympic sport. Um,
Well, and so is podcasting. We're going for the gold, bitch. Call me Simone Biles.
Ooh, okay.
And you can be one of her white teammates.
Oh, okay. I'm down for that. But thank y'all so much for listening to another episode of the On a Real Note podcast. And as always, have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you next time.
Bye.